Do you find that your songs translate better because they are real, because they come from a real place, than something that was just like made up?
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely. I wouldn't say that every song of mine is like 100% this happened to me. Like sometimes it's a lot of friend situations that have happened, or you know, I've written songs totally about Doctor Who, and I'm like so into Rose and Ted, and I can't express it in any other way but then write a sad song, and I have to get it out.
Yeah.
So it depends on what inspires me, but I think the fact that I say really simple things, and I try to say them in a way that, you know, I don't know, just makes people connect with it, and makes people feel like they can write that song, or that's I'm talking about their life.
For sure.
And it's very specific to me, but it's also general enough that I think people connect with it. And I don't know why, but I'm just very lucky that people like it and they connect with it the way they do, and hopefully I can continue to do that.
Right on, right on. Any other audience questions? Yeah? What's your goal in music?
My goal in music. I feel like I'm writing an essay right now. My goal in music. I didn't want to be a musician. I grew up loving to sing and doing things, but it wasn't a goal. And I didn't even learn how to play guitar or write until I was 20. And so my goal right now is not like to be the biggest or the most known person. It's just to be able to like support myself and pay rent and be able to travel and like help out my family and be able to do something that's awesome and not have to go to an office every day. Like if I could just sit in a room and write songs all day, that would be amazing. And that's pretty much like where I am right now. So I'm just trying to hold on to that as long as possible before I have to go work an office job.
Were you in choir when you were in school?
Yeah, I was in church choir when I was younger, and then when I was in high school, I was in like select ensemble and did musicals and stuff like that. But I also feel like when I started learning guitar and teaching myself that and kind of writing songs, I figured out more about my voice that I didn't know. Because when you're in choir, it's really like you have to sound like this, you have to replicate this, and just sing these notes. And now that I have a guitar, I'm like, I'm just gonna go and see if I can do that in a song and make it happen. So I think you figure out a lot about yourself beyond that. But choir is a great place to start. You learn a lot about just hearing music and working with other people.
Hi, I was just wondering.
Hi, best friend.
Hi. I was just wondering how you felt things like Project Life Science have affected your blog over the past year or so.
Okay, so I used to do a collab channel back when people did collab channels. And it's called Project Life Science. I did it for 4 years. And it was about kind of body image and self-empowerment. It was because I used to get a lot of comments saying, hey, I want to do music, but I look like you, and I see the comments that you get, and I could never deal with that. And I thought that's such a shame that people sign up for this site and then are scared to put stuff out there because they look a certain way or they know that they're going to get hate. So I started doing this collab channel, and it was me and a bunch of women just, you know, that didn't fit a mold, talking about what it's like to live in a world and be fine and be happy and be more than just like, you know, fat or curvy or big or whatever you want to say. And I think that's influenced a lot of the things that I do. If I'm being, I mean, I have a tattoo for it. I have Monday on my foot, so obviously it influenced something. I think it made me more confident in my voice, and it made me feel like I could be as honest and open as possible. Like a lot of times, I'll cry in videos, I'll get angry in videos. It doesn't matter. And I think that Project Life Size was the place that started. I felt safe. I felt like that community embraced me, and then I could be who I was and not be ashamed of how I felt at the time about anything. And I think that has changed my music. That has changed the way that I interact with people, and I just appreciate things in a whole different perspective.
Cool. That's really cool. I mean, like, it's funny how, you know, you do these videos and you inspire people, but how sometimes doing these videos can change and like inspire you in a way as well.
Yeah, I mean, there are videos that I forget that I made, and I go back and I watch them like, who was that person? And I need to be that person today because I'm having a really bad day.
Right.
And I think that you can't feel too bad about life and feel too bad about yourself, but like you go to something like this and you meet other people. Like I've met, you know, people that have come to me crying because the song did something for their life, or a vlog changed the way that they thought about something, and you can't track that. That's not a number, that's not a subscriber base. That's just something like you've become a part of someone's life in a way that you didn't even realize.
Right.
And so that's a huge goal of mine. If I can just continue to be me, and that helps other people be themselves, then I'm doing the right thing.
A lot of YouTubers, Tay Day actually said this, that like, you know, it's hard sometimes because if you're having a crummy day, it's not always wise to go on Twitter and tell everybody you're having a crummy day. But then, for some people...
You have to look at my Twitter, because I go on Twitter and say, I hate today, and I hate everyone in the world. Yeah.
But it's funny because I think that sometimes if you get into like, you know, like for example, Shay is like one of the most happy people I've ever met, and he's genuinely that happy on and off camera.
He is.
And I think that, you know, if he was having a bum day, I mean, like, you know, I'm not sure whether he would feel like, you know, scared to kind of say that to his audience, and whether he'd be letting them down because he'd be like not happy. But then, like, I think, for example, you, I mean, like, you're up, you're down, you're everywhere. People are just like, yeah.
I'm like, I'm a musician. This is what, I'm a Scorpio, I'm a musician, I'm a woman. Like, this is what I am, I'm complicated. Yeah, I guess there are definitely people that I know that feel kind of boxed in. I don't know that Shay feels that. Because he's such a happy. I've never seen Shay sad or
just
really
always,
angry or anything but happy. So maybe he's just like that.
Yeah.
But if people are used to you being a certain way, it's probably hard to put it on Twitter or on a YouTube video because immediately people want to fix it, or people want to be like, oh, there's no reason for you to be sad.
Yeah.
And regardless of where you are on YouTube or in life, like, you go through things, like you lose people, you have bad days, you don't like yourself today, you're a bad friend, you say something wrong, like, and I think it's important as like an audience and just people that support other people to be open that we all have a lot of emotions and a lot of things that happen, and that just because you're sad today doesn't mean that you're sad forever. It's okay to not be okay, and to be open and honest about that. And yeah, I'm lucky that I don't feel boxed in by that. People, you know, if anything, you can tell I'm having a bad day if I'm really sarcastic and just really drunk. I was like going and taking pictures of places. I'm like, this is nice, this is great. You know, I just try to make it funny, and it's never too long that I'm feeling bad.
Right. Any other questions for Meghan? Anyone else have it? Okay.
Go get it. Don't rip your pants this time.
I try not to.
If you could go back to like your late teens or early 20s and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
That's a great question.
That's a really good question. If I give myself one piece of advice, what would it be? Don't feel bad or guilty for feeling the way that you do. I think a lot of times, like, when I was 19 or 20 years old, I felt like, I can't feel these things. I have to like move on and get to this really mature place and be this person. And I think that there's something to be said for growing up and taking your time to grow up and taking your time to feel the things that you do and not feel bad. Like, we all have to go through stuff at our own pace. So I would say, you know, just don't care what people think as much, and don't be scared to be young and make mistakes and screw everything up, because it's gonna work out fine, I promise.